Relentlessness is a trait that you develop over time. It's what the top 10% of men do. It's the trait and attribute that they have. And there was a book that I read recently, actually. It was called Goals by Brian Tracy. Phenomenal book, something that I'd recommend highly to anyone watching this video. Brian Tracy, inspirational speaker, legend. Go and check out some of his videos. But he says something very profound and it really resonated with me. But he said, the bigger goals that you achieve, the bigger the goal, the more obstacles and hurdles that you will face. And this is so true. And that's where relentlessness comes in. You have to be relentless in your pursuit. Gentlemen, you have to be relentless, because when you set these extravagant, massive goals, which is something that I recommend, and remember, please write down your goals, because statistically you're more likely to accomplish your goals when you actually write them down. So don't have them in your mind. Actually have quantifiable goals that you write down on a piece of paper that perhaps you read all the time. But because obviously that puts you ahead of the vast majority of the populace immediately. But writing your goals down is one thing, but then accomplishing and achieving your goals is a completely different story, as we know. But so this is where relentlessness comes in. You have to be relentless in your pursuit, because you have to understand that in order to get what you want, you have to go through these arduous difficulties, the adversity. You have to. There are going to be times where you fail. There's going to be times where you want to throw the towel in, where you think that you're stagnating and nothing is progressing. In reality, the compound effect is kicking in. You're just not seeing it. The failures are required for you to get to the level that you need to get to. Most people don't realize that, or the people that realize that are not strong enough mentally to actually withdraw and actually maintain those struggles. The minute they face a bit of adversity, they go back into their comfort zone. Please understand this, that when you set these massive, ginormous goals, the hurdles are going to come alongside it. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not going to be all glittery and that it's going to be a straight path that you never deviate from. There's always graphs that you see. It's never going to be a situation mathematically where you have the X variable, you have the Y variable, and it's directly proportional, where it's just one straight line where the more input you have and the harder you work, then it will just directly correlate. Over time, if you zoom out over years and years, that is the case. But over a short-term period where the compound effect hasn't kicked in, that's not how it operates. It fluctuates continuously, where you have highs and downs, and that comes with the hurdles. That's a life lesson. But one trait that's unanimous, that is very common, not just very common, certain amongst successful rich men, is they have one specific trait. It's their relentlessness, and they're solution orientated. So they analyze a problem and they don't sit there and ponder as to why this certain event happens. Why has this happened to me? Life is not fair. This has happened. I've gone bankrupt. I've lost this business. My wife divorced me. My wife cheated on me. They look at these problems and they let the issues and problems touch their heart. It lets them get to them. It gets under their skin. And so they sit there, whine and complain and do nothing. You might lose your job. Most people will lose their job at some point. You will be made redundant at some point. Maybe the company doesn't require you anymore in terms of your services. It can happen. The person that will be successful, his reaction, his perception will be totally different. So he might lose his job, but he's like, oh, well, these things happen. People always lose their jobs. What can I do now? He's solution orientated. He's already looking at, okay, when can I get a next job? When can I line up an interview? When can I schedule a meeting? Solution orientated. The guy that gets let off in the second scenario, he sits there, whines and complains. Life is not fair. Why did I get sacked? But my colleague is performing worse than me, but he's still in the job. They sit there and complain. Move on. The past is the past. And that is the difference, is that they're relentless, but also they're solution orientated. Be solution orientated. I always say, because a lot of people will say life is unfair, which I agree with to an extent. Life is unfair. I say life is fair because life is unfair for everyone. Because we're all going to be dealt with a bad card at some point. Family member, close member is dealt with terminally a terminal illness. And of course, they're fighting for their life. That's going to play up on your mind. You might be made redundant. You might have an illness. You might have lost a lot of money and you have to start from zero again. Your business partner might have stabbed you at the back. So you have all these sort of multiple scenarios that may have occurred. But all of us at some point, whether you're lucky or not, or whatever it may be, you will be dealt with a bad card at some point, which is why I always say life is fair because it's unfair for everyone. And so that's why I say be solution orientated, be relentless in your pursuit, And that's how you actually get into the top 10%. It's saying, okay, this is the goals that I set out. I completely appreciate, I actually understand that these are the hurdles that are going to come alongside it, coinciding with these goals that I've set, but I'm going to embrace the challenge. I'm completely accepting of that because I want to achieve and I will get there no matter what. I will be relentless in my pursuit. I fall flat on my face, no problem at all. I get back up the next morning and I carry on again. It's that mindset, that cultivating mindset that you have on a continuous basis. Creating your environment is another one. But just the main thing is being relentless. And this can help with having the right people around you. You know, we've all heard that quote before, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend time with. So make sure you analyze who you spend time with. Are they quitters? Are they relentless? Are they successful? I'm not saying cut them off immediately, perhaps reduce the amount of time you spend with them. So it's very important that you create your environment, but that more importantly, that you are relentless in your pursuit. That is absolutely imperative. It's really important. And that is what separates the top, well, I say top, the bottom 80% from the top 20%. The top 20% are relentless in their pursuit. That is the reality. So hopefully you've understood that. Hopefully you've comprehended that. If you found value from this video, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.